So I've been asked what my opinion is on Restore Britain, Rupert Lowe's new party, and in this video then we're just going to have a look at a few films, pictures and some narratives that are going to help you understand how I feel about it. And before I start, guys, who am I? Who cares? Literally, and I mean that. And who are you? And who cares? Because none of this is really going to matter, because we're all being controlled by something that is far bigger than us. So let's look at the issue that I believe is going to be mainstream over the next 5 to 10 years. We know it's immigration, but more than that, and I keep telling people, it's the proliferation of Islam in this English Christian nation. Now, as much as some people on this channel may hate me or unsubscribe for my stance on police officers, because I come from a police family, and I've always said I don't like British policing at all. I think the College of Policing are absolutely abhorrent with what they've done to it, but I will support the individual police officer on the street 110%. Let's watch this lady here going up against these men here. This has been flipped, I think, this one, but she's talking to Muslim men about an issue of, I think, a preacher who's a Christian preacher in the street.
I hear what you're saying. In this country, we have freedom of speech, the same way you guys have your freedom of speech. Now, you guys don't need to see eye to eye, and you don't need to agree, and you're all more than welcome to stand here and have conversations with them, but they're not being aggressive. They're not.
Someone will come here, they just, you never know, he might get smashed up.
That's their risk. That's their risk.
I told the police, because on the way, I heard them say offensive word about the religion. I ignored it, I came back, on the way, he's talking about a prophet, then he's like a donkey.
So he clarified to one of your friends what he says.
Yeah,
it's not
but it's like, no. You know, if I could misunderstand the word, but when hundreds of people are stopping, because what you say, there must be something wrong.
It's contentious though.
Yeah.
It's a contentious area.
So why is he doing that? Yeah.
He has the right to do it.
What's the moral of the story? Is he allowed to do whatever he's doing?
Yes.
But you see, there's a difference between hate and the freedom of speech. What he's doing is hate. There's a full hate crime, man.
It's not.
Man, he's going fully against another religion.
Even saying, we don't
have control.
And this is Islam, this is Whitechapel, Bengali area also. Muslim area.
He's offending our prophet.
I understand that you guys don't want to hear it. I would recommend that you just move away and don't listen to him.
You can't do that.
Yeah, but we live here.
You're going to stand here.
But excuse me, we live here. So if we came outside his...
You're not in his... He's not in your home.
No, but at the end of the day, this is our community.
Let's just stop it there and discuss what that man just said. So what you're dealing with, and I'm being completely realistic with you, and if you look at the IQ from nations that are coming here, we are looking at people that have generically probably a lower educational level than the rest of us. That's just one of those things. It's just called facts. And so when we talk about those men, remember, they don't respect that police officer because why? Not so much because she's a police officer. They don't respect her because she's a woman. That's the first point. And then when the man says, but it's our community, my line on this would be, mate, it's my country. All right. So I top trump you right there. You're lucky to be still standing, because if I was there, I'd be wading in both fists. Now, listen, here's the thing. We don't want to get aggressive on this, but we have to understand that Islam is the problem that no one seems to be talking about. And if they are talking about it, they're talking about it at a very, very low level. And they'd rather watch sport on television than actually get involved with the future of their nation. And what I don't want to do necessarily is go through this video showing you bits about immigration, how poor it is and how difficult it's going to be, and etc., how bad the country, because we know that. And if you didn't know that, you wouldn't necessarily be on this channel. But look, 15 billion in benefits in just 18 months for immigrant households. We know it's a problem. And of course, a lot of this comes about by having a Muslim as our Home Secretary. In fact, Shabana Mahmood are even looking at putting her in as the next Prime Minister, possibly. And this, for me, is an intolerable position. Now, why do I feel that Rupert is actually a very good hope for us? Although, in all honesty, 2029, I think it's too far off, and I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. But I want to talk to you about how I feel about it. And I want you to have a listen to Nigel Farage first of Reform.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are in Britain at the moment. Do you support deporting all of those people?
It's impossible to do. Literally impossible to do. For us, at the moment, it's a political impossibility.
It's impossible to do, says Farage. So what they're calling Farage and Reform is containment. Matt Goodwin and other people there, Suella Braverman, it's basically the Conservative Party have migrated themselves across to Reform, and Reform have become the new Conservatives. And we know how bad the Conservatives were over the last 14 years. The reason we've got such high immigration figures is primarily because of the Conservatives. It's because of Boris Johnson, who wanted to impress his friends at the FT and get get cheaper labour in so we could just basically stagnate wages. That's basically what he's doing, and that's what we've seen. And now listen to what Rupert says. This is an interesting one here. He's on Lotus Eaters, I believe, which I've been on a few times myself. And the reason I like what Rupert's saying is because I've been saying the same thing. In fact, I'll show you the book in a minute what I've been saying him. But look, he's saying, look, it's not easy. This is actually going to be really, really hard. I've been saying it the whole time. You've got to brace people for what is going to come, and it's not going to be a few years. It's probably going to be a couple of decades.
If you vote for me, I'm not offering you a financial nirvana. I'm not offering you anything other than slightly a hair shirt in the short term, because we've all had too much what I call pretense and false living, too much quantitative easing, too much self-delusion. And we've got to really now get down and start to do what made this country great, and that is work. Work if you can. Invest, take risk, reward people who take risk and succeed. Don't tax people if they build up a fortune. I want people to be rich. I want them to be independent. I want them to be high-minded. I don't want to take their farms or their businesses off them. I don't want Larry Fink buying up Britain. I want Britain to be a nation of people, as we were when we annoyed Napoleon so much. I want them to be a nation of principles, of people who have an interest in the country, a stake in the country. I don't want statism. I hate it. I don't want central planning. I don't want Fabianism. I don't want Pavloism. I want individualism. I want to be a nation of principles who care about the country, who aren't always going to agree, who will have honest debate with each other. That's what Parliament should be. And when we get 649 other people in Parliament, we're not going to agree on everything. But all we've got to agree on is that we want our country back.
You see, I disagree with Rupert a little bit there. I've never given my country away, so there's nothing for me to get back. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. But let me tell you about the danger here. This is the mayor of Rotherham now, a mayor of an English town wearing basically foreign clothes and speaking a foreign language.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sallu ala al-Khabib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So we want none of that. We want none of this at all. And I genuinely mean that, because I don't believe in communities, the Sikh community, the Jewish community, the Muslim community, the Hindu community. No, I don't believe in that at all. I believe in the British community, and that's made up of Englishmen, Welshmen, Scotsmen, Irishmen. That's the community I believe in. The problem is when we bring in people and we give them a lot of money for benefits and we put them in houses and we don't have to give them jobs or anything. No, they just take money and they just eat their way through our children's future inheritance of this land. This is what happened. They realised the grift and they join in. So this is a bird. The first bird there decided it was going to be a little bit injured and it got fed. So other birds came in and went, I'm injured too. And then they got fed. And other birds came in and went, I'm injured too. And they got fed. And this is the problem. This is what's happening in the UK. So when we start feeding one group of people, then the other people realise that they can come in and they get free accommodation. This is a white man surrounded here, as you can see. And of course, he's getting assaulted. Everyone's joining in. And this is the problem that we're going to have. And I'll prove this is the problem we're going to have, especially with Islam, guys. Because all of a sudden, and this is a street in the UK, you can see from the Gregs there, completely outnumbered. We start getting to a point where our streets don't look like this anymore. This is London back in the 50s and 60s. We get to a point where we don't recognise it. Then people, of course, that have money decide to move abroad. They don't pay taxes anymore. People come in and all of a sudden we end up with a country where we're basically just handing away future generational wealth to accommodate people who shouldn't be here in the first place. And as Douglas Murray says about the roots of Englishness, he says, I don't want them to live here. I don't want them here. They came under false pretense. Many of them came illegally and continue to come illegally, and we don't want them here. And I'm perfectly willing to say that because it needs to be said. I had to read that off. That was Douglas Murray that said that. And the reason I like Rupert and what Rupert is saying is he does stand up and say things that are pretty unpalatable to anyone in the Uni Party, which of course is Labour, Conservative, and now obviously Reform. What he's addressing, of course, is the issue that we have as young white men. These are the future of our country. These are the people that have got the economic growth. These are the people, and I've always said these three things, Evan. Let's get these young men into a home, into a relationship, and into a job, and therefore they'll feel invested in the country, and therefore they will drive. And if we don't have that, if we haven't got those people in there, there's nothing for else them to do apart from burn down everything. And that's unfortunately what we're going to see if we're not careful.
To the young white men who feel ignored and insulted, I want to speak directly to you. For too long, young white men in this country have been treated as if your concerns don't matter, your struggles don't count, and your identity is something to apologise for.
Now, I don't want to sit here and play you tape after tape because I don't think you need that. I think you can realise that I'm not 110% behind Restore, but most definitely I'm not a Reform fan. And I warned about Farage and the fact that he was a populist many, well, I say months ago now. It must be almost a year ago, probably at least 9 months ago, that Farage will sit there, look at which way the wind's blowing, and then he'll jump on that particular train to make himself popular. But we know in 2029 we're going to get the same. Why do we know that? Because half his cabinet now is the Conservatives. They've all just migrated across to Reform, knowing that conservatism in the UK is dead in its current form. Let's take a break.
T'es sûr qu'il est coupé le courant? Ok, fais gaffe, hein. Oh là là, mon Dieu. T'es tout gonflé.
Not known for the educational level. They're not known, all right? This is the thing. And of course, a new slogan that's going to come out from Rupert and Restore is this one: we don't care. People call me racist. People call me racist today. Let's have a look. And here we have Pete McCormack then. And he's a guy that's got a podcast out there, a businessman. And what he's saying is, look, in 2023, they called us bigots. 2024, they called us racist. Then they called us fascist. And now what we're hearing is they're calling us neo-Nazis. And then 2027, of course, you're literally Hitler. So we know what's happening here. And one of the arguments against, and this is what Khaled is saying here, is that you're rubbing shoulders with far-right nationalists like Steve Laws. And we've seen people basically saying everyone should go home. And this was always going to happen because, as Rupert says, if you don't listen to a bunch of people, they will just rise up and burn the place down. The problem with doing that is normally that group of people is a minority. What has happened is our government, our British government, of course, have not listened to a group of people that happen to be the vast majority. And the military is finding this out, of course, because young white men are not joining anymore. Right, this is Times Square in New York.
Oh.
And this is just an English lady just trying to get off a bus. Because people don't know how to queue. A man actually used her shoulder to get on the bus. And the reason I say that Rupert is going to have an uphill struggle, basically, he's not going to be able to do it because the establishment, the global elite, whatever you want to call them, are going to repress what he's doing. They're going to call him all sorts of random things, aren't they? We know that, of course. They're going to say he hasn't got any friends with him and he can't do it. And he's a one-man army. They're going to go after his wealth. They're going to everything. It's basically because they are captured. And it comes down to the civil service. And I can't really address it in this video. I will address it, though, in future videos. But the civil service has what has been caught by ideology, by leftism, by whatever else you want to call it. But basically, have a look at this. And it's got to the extent then where even Greater Manchester Police are sorry because they had a terrorist incident where they were an exercise that they were going for, and they used the Muslim terrorists as a mock blast. I'll play this tape now. I'm assuming those are all actors, and it was all part of the. It was a staged mock attack featuring a bomber. They've been forced to apologise for stereotyping, but all we've ever had in this country since around about 2010 has been Islamist or Islamic fundamental terrorism. And this is the thing: I don't understand why they need to be doing that, other than they've been absolutely captured. And the reason I think this is the case is because they want to keep wages down, to keep profits high, to maximise shareholder value within these companies that we're all forced to work for. You must know now that when you do your shopping, it is considerably more expensive. So yes, I think Rupert Lowe and I think Restore Britain are on the right lines, but just watch out when people are criticizing him and they're saying that he's a racist, fascist, bigot, neo-Nazi. And of course, without getting myself into some kind of legal dispute, we know that Alex Phillips on Talk TV here obviously has close relations with Nigel Farage in a platonic sense, I'm talking of course. And we know that obviously she's going to defend him. Let's listen to what she says then about how people are calling the British people a race and why that's massively an issue for her. And therefore, she can call Restore Britain racist.
Restore Britain believe British people are an ethnicity. We are a race, we are a demographic. Every other political party has a nebulous view of Britain and British people. Okay, so if British people are a race, my stepsister is not British then? I'm sorry, I don't understand. If you're going to say it, just say the quiet part out loud, okay? This is what I'm going to say to Restore Britain. Just say the quiet part out loud so we know. Otherwise, it just sounds like reform, but apparently it's not.
I'll leave you with this then. This is Leila Cunningham, a Muslim herself, of course. And one of the things that I would just warn you a little bit about with reform, you've got Nigel Farage, you've got Mohammed Zia Yousaf, a Muslim himself, of course. And you've got people within that party who aren't taking this Islamic problem seriously. I am. And I think a lot of us are, but they're not. It's a big problem. And here Leila talks a little bit about the problems that she sees with Restore Britain. Listen to the language. Listen at what I call the labelling. They're going to label Rupert as something here. Listen to what she says.
They're talking about if you're not white and Christian in this country, you're not British. Right? They're going back to some kind of like neo-Nazi Aryan race. If you're not white, I've heard their spokesperson on Talk TV and on TV saying, if you are not white and Christian, then you're not deemed to be British. And, that flies in the face of wanting integration and assimilation, because no matter how much you integrate or assimilate, according to them, you will never be British.
Well, look, they're not here to defend themselves right now, but...
Should the UK be predominantly white?
No, why would we be predominantly white?
So-called white people were taught to be scared of wanting to preserve their culture and so-called race, right? Let me give you some examples. See, in Africa, it is predominantly African people, and they want to preserve their culture and race over there, which is fine, and nobody has a problem with that. In South America, or parts of that continent, many of those people are Hispanic, and they want to preserve their culture and so-called race as well. Nobody has a problem with that as well, too. Same thing for Asians. No one has a problem with Asians wanting to preserve their culture and race in Asia. Nobody has a problem with that. But for some strange damn reason, when it comes to the white person of wanting to preserve their race and culture in parts of Europe, it's a damn problem. Why can't they want to keep their culture as white or their race? Why is that a problem? Everybody else can do it. Everybody else can do it, but they can't. I've noticed this. I've noticed this bullshit, and it's really effed up. But again, society loves to shame the white person of wanting to keep their culture as white. I see no problem with that.
And I'm going to leave you with this, right? This is a white Christian nation. This is what the UK is. This is what England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. If you disagree with me, then hit the comments and we'll have a discussion. I'll look for those comments where you disagree. But it is historically, over the last 1,000 years, a white Christian nation. You may not be a Christian person, you may not go to church, but the values are Christian. Those are the values you enjoy every single day. I could list millions of them, but you know what they are. But these are Christian values. This is not what Islam is bringing to the UK. This is not an anti-Islam channel. This is a channel that says we want to uphold standards, guys. I talk about it in my book here. By all means, go and buy the book. You can if you want to. There's a link down below, and you don't have to do that. But have a think about what that means. And when you think about Rupert Lowe and talk to people about him, you haven't got to say you like the guy or anything. You can say there's an alternative now to Labour, an alternative to Reform. I think Advance are going to merge. I think there's other parties that are going to merge with them as well. I'm not completely sold, but I am more sold on him than anyone else. And why am I sold on him? Because the man has integrity and he's not ashamed to stand up and tell you what he actually feels. There's a lot to be said for that, people. We all should be doing it as well. You take care of yourselves now. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.